Okay.
No, not to session 3.
Shall we put our
Good,
masks on?
we good to go, Mr. Henson?
We're eating, so.
Look it up for me.
Okay, we will go ahead and we will call this meeting to order. Will you please rise and join me in the pledge to our flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
That was good.
Setting off alarms here.
He bumped the thermostat. That's what that noise is.
That's me again, sorry.
All right.
You need more room?
Okay, let the record show all board members are present and accounted for. At this moment, I will entertain a motion to adopt the agenda.
So moved.
Seconded?
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. We now move on to public comment. This is an opportunity for the public to address the board on an item that is not on the agenda. Would encourage you to go ahead, if you're watching online, please go ahead and enter your comments in and we will read them. So we'll go ahead and give you a little bit of time to go ahead and do that.
Drips and stuff.
Okay, not seeing any comments. We'll go ahead and move forward, but we will be looking back. If you decide you have a comment, we will go ahead and we'll be looking for it. Moving right along. Okay, we'll move on to presentations and information, and we'll start with the summer camp update.
So I'll just introduce this as Mr. Penman comes up and say that this summer in Robla, we ran what we called a summer camp in an attempt to attract students by making it sound a little more friendly than summer school. And I asked Mr. Penman if he could just bring together a little bit of data for us in terms of what summer school looked like this summer. So, Mr. Penman, thank you.
Is that better now?
There.
Yes, it is. Okay. Good evening, everybody, board members, Superintendent Reyes, audience members. I am going to do a brief little glimpse of what summer school looked like. I was a part of that this summer as well. We had a good time. We had all of our schools do summer camp this year. It was between...
Make sure that's on as well, Mr. Penman. There's this button on this side.
Typical. Okay, let's see. No, it was on.
There we go.
Okay. We were running through summer school between July 7th and August 6th. We had all of our Robla students in TK to 6th grade. All the grade levels were available to come onto site. We went from 8 o'clock to noon every day, Monday through Friday. We were at Glenwood, Maine, Bell, and Taylor. We did not have any summer camp on Robla campus because we had construction going on. So we were hosted by the wonderful hostess, Miss Newhouse at Main Avenue School. Service staff did a great job, as they have all through the pandemic, of serving our families and students. They served students throughout the morning's breakfast in the classrooms. They sent home lunches in baggies every day after school. The people who served our students this year were almost all of Robla teachers. There were a couple substitutes because of certain circumstances that occurred, but most of the teachers that taught were teachers from our district. Classified staff was there too. We had certificated staff, we had custodians, secretaries, transportation, social workers, psychologists, and IAs. Now, not every school had an abundance of everybody, but we had pieces of everybody to serve enough of our children. So that was a really nice thing. We had 550 students. That's about 30% of our enrollment. Now this year, as Mr. Reyes said, we wanted to make it a little bit lighter. It was a very difficult and arduous year with the pandemic, so we came up with some summer camp themes to just kind of lighten the mood for ourselves and for our students. Main Avenue and Robla, we had the Summer Olympic theme. We had a good time with that. We had PE activities surrounding Olympic themes. One of the classes did a Greek study. They did a lot of reading and writing with that. And the culmination was tasting some of the Greek food. So that was one of the things that we did for ours. Glenwood, let's go to camp. Now, it was summer camp, but Dr. Gutierrez said it's camping. So outside, outdoorsy, that was their theme. They used literature to connect with nature, and they also did a theme that encompassed space camp. For Bell Avenue, it was food for thought. So their theme had a lot of foods in it. They had cooking classes for some of the students. They had taste tests, and they visited some areas to look at some foods around Sacramento. Taylor Street, their theme was take a risk, and they discussed and read things in line with having courage to try new things, different books, make new friends, and take risks. Their field trips were connected to their theme. They were hiking, swimming, and rock climbing. Now, of course, we still had some business to attend to. We didn't forget about our academics. The students lost some academic learning during the pandemic, so we were there to support some of that learning loss. Had social emotional learning embedded in some of our work during the summer. We have always thought in Robla that the whole child is important to be paying attention to, and Sandy Graham and her team has done great with the training over the years. We, of course, went into literacy, reading and writing, as we always do. Math, science, and social studies were covered as well. Art, technology, and PE enrichment teachers were there. Now, some of them were at the campuses, maybe a week, maybe 2. We had 4 weeks and 3 days. So they decided when they could kind of serve the kids throughout the summer. And a lot of us received all of those enrichments. We want to thank Mr. Reyes and Mr. Castillo for giving us money for field trips, because that was a lot of something that we didn't get during the pandemic. We didn't go on any field trips for over a year and a half. The students had a blast. They had so much fun. A lot of it was, some of it was STEAM-based and some of it was not. They were just other experiences that the kids got to do through summer camp. Here are some pictures for you to see. Up on the left side, there's some art up in the left side of the photo. Down below, there's the Bell Avenue doing some cooking. Mr. Moynihan has some Olympic rings on the ground here, some keyboard. You're at the zoo up on the top right, and you have Mrs. Comenacker doing some small group instruction with the blue sheet. On these photos, you have Mrs. working one-on-one with one of her students on academic activity. You have some take a risk themes with Taylor Street School with the big rock wall there, and then the rope courses. You have swimming, and you have again some of the cooking classes over at Bell Avenue. In one of the scenes there, you see Mr. Bidovia working on some of the sales strategies that we work on with our students for their social emotional learning. So there is a lot of components during summer school that we had that were sort of normal throughout a school year, and some that were on the lighter end. It was really nice to step back for a second from the pandemic and have children just laugh and socialize, which we haven't done in a long time. So it was a nice thing for the students to get some of the academics, but also have that social and laughter too. Are there any questions or comments?
I just want to say that it is so wonderful to see all the kids enjoying learning again and getting to do activities that are hands-on and everything. And it looks like it was a success. So thank you to all the staff who worked extra hard to make this happen.
Yeah, I agree with you. There were staff that worked extremely hard throughout the year. And when we said we were going to serve our students during the summer, it was a very difficult thing to say. But boy, did they step up to the plate. We had all the principals there. We had just about all the secretaries there. We had a lot of teachers show up, classified, you name it. We were there to support our kids. So it was a real nice thing.
Well done.
Yeah, it's always good to hear you focusing on social emotional activity. So, was there any problems when they first came back to school, social emotional, after being gone so long? And if there was that, did this summer camp help it out?
As of right now, yes, they did come back to us with that. We have been very proactive about talking about that in our leadership meetings. All of our principals have been talking to their site teams to discuss that aspect, and all of our teachers are, they know that this is a priority for us to make sure that our students are, doing okay socially and emotionally, and so we're doing activities probably all of this month of September. That was actually more of a focus than the academic piece when we first started the first couple weeks, because it was that needed.
It's good to hear, because I hear a lot of problems, it was within the family, outside of, everything outside of Robla that I heard the problems, that, not surprised. I'm really pleased to hear that we're focusing on that, because that was probably the biggest impact we've had on the students with just the socialization. Yeah.
Any other questions or comments?
Oh, one more. Where was the ropes course at?
It's in Brooklyn.
Oh, it's the Rockland one?
Yes.
Okay, because I want to go. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so very much.
Thank you, Mr. Penman.
We'll move on to item B, independent study update.
That's me. And unfortunately, I really don't have a report tonight because we do not have an official independent study program as of yet. I left it on the agenda just so that I could give the board an update. As I think the board is aware, in order for us to devise this new requirement by the state, we've always had an independent study program, a short-term independent study program for students who need to leave the school for up to 15 days. But we didn't have a long-term independent study program, and that's what the state now requires. Of course, in order to put that plan into place, we must bargain that with the Teachers Association, and we've been working on that now for quite some time. We did hit a bump in the road when we did have a tentative agreement that was unfortunately not ratified by the teachers in the association. So that kind of had us come back and kind of rethink what we're doing. We meet with RTA again tomorrow in order to work this out. We are coming up on the deadline. There is a statutory deadline that a school district must have this in place, and we are coming up on that. So we understand the task that's before us. And once we are up and running and we can describe the exact details of our program, then we will come back to the board and report that out to you.
Any questions or comments? Okay, hearing none, we'll move on to the next item, which is the unaudited actuals report.
Good evening, Mr. and the board member, superintendent Reyes. Tonight I presented the 2021 another for actuals, keeping in mind our vision statement. Every student reaches the potential in a growth environment, read in challenging practice, and reflect the learning for all. During the year, we we will in front of you about 4 times a year and we present the budget, we discuss the budget. Tonight, we are discussing the unaudited actuals. That means the fiscal documents from July 1, 2020 through June 30, 2021. We will discuss tonight a summary of 150 pages that is in your package. We will discuss education code 42100, items in the unaudited actuals such as the average daily attendance, some major costs, construction, some major revenues and expenditures, such as COVID-19 funds, and the Education Protection Act, that's the EPA. We will discuss in detail more the general fund revenue and expenditure, because that's where the majority of our activities are in those funds. We will also discuss all the other fund balance. In a summary, we will discuss a couple of accomplishments, and of course, we have what is coming for this decade and opportunity for questions and answers. So Education 42100 really says that we need to close the books by September 15th and present it to COE, Sacramento County Office of Education. We did that on September 14th. And all the forms that in your package, those are the required forms that every district in the state has to do that. So that's why we're here, and requires that you approve that in a public meeting. The key items in this are going to be one by one. The average daily attendance, is important to know that we did not keep track of attendance in 2021. We actually got paid based on the prior year due to COVID-19. And it will be the same for this year, 21-22. We will also use average daily attendance from 1920. There were major costs, and due to construction, we spent over $17.2 million. And you know that 3 or 5 schools are in construction, as well as this new building where we are located. All the schools were closed due to COVID-19, so there were some expenditures, there were some savings that we incurred because of the schools were closed. A key item, and I will slow down in this one, is the COVID-19 related one-time funds. Our district was awarded $13.6 million in this different buckets. Out of that, as of June 30, we spent $3.8 million, and we had to spend $9.8 million in the next 2 fiscal years. That means 21-22 and 22-23. It's important to know that summer school, a lot of expenditures that we include in summer school are not here because they occur after June 30, so they will be part of the fiscal year 21-22. So we're keeping track of these different, what I call it, buckets of COVID-19 funds. They have to be used for specific purposes. Some of these you approve, like the SRT plan, the expanded learning opportunity plan, so some are plans that we have approved already. Another key component is the education protection account, or this is known as Proposition 30. That's when the sales,
No, the 20.
when the taxes were raised for the high income earners. And that income was increased. So all of these revenues and expenditures are included in this package.
Sorry, yeah, I was curious, you said the summer school was not included in this?
Correct, because the summer school is not included in the expenditure because it's part of the fiscal year 21-22, because it happened after June 30.
Okay, and so what about previous summer school?
It will be in this school year. It will be in the fiscal year, the one that we're currently are from, is from July 1, 21, to June 30, 2022.
But I'll just remind everyone that we haven't run a summer school program ourselves for a number of years. Our contract with Mr. Roberts and Freedom School covers that.
That was this question, because my memory was kind of not working so well, so thank you. That's what I was getting at.
Yeah, this is the summer school that we run. Within the general fund, there's 2 major packet what is called the unrestricted and restricted funds. So we will discuss the unrestricted funds and then and we do the combined. The majority of revenues, about 96%, are from the local control funding formula. They are part of the unrestricted. So there's no federal funds in the unrestricted fund. Just remember this number, $22.16 million. So if we combine all our revenues for the year, the same number, it became 71%. It's mainly due because we receive a significant federal funds due to the COVID-19. This number is the norm. Previous to COVID-19, it was about between 3 and 4%. This year is 16%. And yes, like the revenues, we also have expenditures that are divided between restricted and unrestricted. 94% of the general fund unrestricted is salaries and benefits. This year, due to COVID-19, a lot of our operating expenditures for safety were covered part of the restricted fund. So the majority were just salaries and benefits that we out of the unrestricted general fund. So this 94% includes certificated salaries, includes other teachers, including principals, so anybody who has a teaching credential, and classified staff is all of us who don't have a teaching credential. We also have, when we combine all the expenditures in the general fund, about 84% of our general fund expenditures is salary and benefits. So we have the operating expenditures right here that includes all the contracts related to special ed and all the contracts and other utilities included in this slide of the pie.
Sorry.
Did you get them?
No, still here.
The general fund, we have some programs that we have to take them separately, but we did not receive enough money from the state or the federal government to cover the cost. And so we call this contributions. Another word is encroachment. I like that word contribution better. One of those is special education. So the general fund unrestricted contributes about $2.1 million. We also are required to do for deferred maintenance, for a restricted, to do deferred maintenance, we have to contribute about 3% of our general fund, and we contribute 824. So we contribute, the general fund unrestricted contribute to these programs about $3.25 million. So this page, this slide is a summary of about 16 pages in the report. As a total, we received, our total revenues were $31 million. Our expenditures were 27.4 for a net excess of 3.6. So our beginning balance was 11.8, and we end up with a balance of 3.4. This number right here, the contribution is just zero because we just contributed from the unrestricted to restricted programs. It's the same number that you saw on the previous slide. Were you gonna ask a question?
Oh, no.
So this is how we do. Again, this is very unique year because we received significant one-time funds that we have to spend in about 3 years. So that's the main reason our fund balance increased. So other funds besides the general fund that we started here, this is just it is showing you here that how do we start the year, how we end it. You will notice that both building fund, like the bond fund and the county school fund, those are the two funds that we use for construction. There is really not new revenue, just the amount that we have for construction. So those are the two funds that they decrease in fund balance. Other than that, all the other ones, they're in a positive fund balance. So as a total district-wide, we started, even though the general fund increased, but as a total, we started with $16.2 million. We end up with $48 million. This includes all the funds district-wide. So some of the this year we try to focus on some strategies that set up the district in a good financial position for the long term. So our discussion at this level is about peaking and lemon, and we don't have to discuss budget cuts, at least not in the near future. So one of the things that we accomplished is we reduced the vacation liability. Even though employees in vacation, we have a less liability of $126,000. So it's we're paying our debt. That's another one is that also something that thanks to you and the leadership of the superintendent layer, we were able to reduce the liability for health benefits. We contributed, we invest $900,000, and I received this part of an email, and I kind of shared that last. So we contribute $900,000, but this contribution, this investment, reduced our liability by $1.9 million. So that's a reminder our employees that in every car they could have benefits up to 65 years, once they retire. So the goal of this fund again is that eventually we will use these funds to pay for the cost, so we don't have to take the money from the class fund.
All right, I got a question here. Back on the previous page, the ending fund balances. So I'm subtracting the maintenance fund, the facilities fund, or the building fund, which would give us about 19 or 20 million if we subtract that, right? And what reason I'm asking, it seems to me in the past, our ending fund balances were always around 10 million. Am I off? I mean, I'm just going by memory.
For the building fund?
Oh, you know what? I'm thinking about the operating. No, I'm thinking about unrestricted. No, never mind. I've answered my own question. Okay. Thank you.
No problem. We could go back. We almost, so this is our accomplishment. So this is the goal is to set up a district for long-term financial success. Looking forward, of course,
Might be me.
like we talk about the average daily attendance and enrollment. So we have this year the past, and this year we're still getting funded 2 years back. Really uncertain what will happen with our enrollment in ADA. The good news is looking at it like it's a little bit better than what we had at the beginning. Our audit report will be presented in December 15, as well as our first interim auditor. So this is a report that we submit to the county. Our auditors will be here in October for about a week reviewing this financial review. Then we'll do a presentation by December 15. Thank you for your time, and we are available to answer any questions.
I just appreciate the way you laid this out and made it easy to read and understand.
Any other questions or comments? Thank you, sir.
Just want to acknowledge that, thank you for laying out this way, because the other report was, it was interesting. Yeah, yes, so
Okay.
I really do appreciate you laying it out this way.
Thank you, Mr. Gutierrez.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll now move on to action items. Start off with item A, reinstate an 8-hour, 12-month maintenance worker position effective upon board approval.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded.
So I'll introduce this, and Mrs. Sullivan is here if there are any specific questions. This is a position that was vacated, and I know it's sometimes hard to remember pre-pandemic, but pre-pandemic, we were going into a mode where we were looking at some cost-cutting measures because of what the state budget outlook was. And we had an agreement with CSEA at the time that as a cost-cutting measure, we would not fill that position. Since that time, however, as we know, fiscally, things have changed greatly. But also, there's been a strong need for maintenance. We are shorthanded. We have an employee who helps out in maintenance when he isn't driving the bus, but now We're down a bus driver because there was a retirement. He needs to be driving the bus. And so this is just a need that is there. And the recommendation then from Mrs. Sullivan is that we reinstate this position. And of course, she always consults with Mr. Castillo to make sure the budget can support this before we would bring it to the board. So there is definitely consensus that this is the right thing to do. Did I leave anything out? Okay.
Hey. Any questions or comments? Okay, it's been moved and second. Move forward to a vote. It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. Item B, reclassify .75 FTE instructional assistant 2 position to an instructional assistant 3 position effective upon board approval.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded.
And we'll let Mrs. Sullivan talk about this one.
Welcome, everybody. So,
Right into the microphone, if you would, please. Thank you.
the video thing. So for this particular position, it's supporting an FTC classroom. The position is vacant because the person who held it promoted into another position within our district. Congratulations to her. But as we were reviewing our caseloads in this particular classroom, I've been in conversation with Mrs. Graham for since the beginning of the school year. When we're looking at the caseloads and the needs of the students in this particular FTC classroom, their needs actually fit the IA3 job description and duties. So what we're doing is simply reclassifying the position in order to meet the needs of the students in the caseload.
Any questions or comments?
Yeah, so we're gonna be hiring somebody to fill this position, or is somebody already in the position?
So I have an employee temporarily placed there, and then I'll be advertising it as an instructional assistant 3 upon your approval, and then we will hire somebody to replace the position for permanently.
Okay, I was just making sure you weren't changing somebody who had a lower position to a higher position
No,
just because of the need in the class. Okay, cool.
no, we aren't.
Okay, just double checking on that.
Okay, any other discussion or debate? Hearing none, move forward to a vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. Item C, Education Protection Act, EPA spending plan.
This is Mr. Castillo.
Yeah, this is, I described a little bit on that one. This is for 21-22. It's indicating that we are using this proposition for the funds only for teaching and learning, and pretty much we are not using it for administration. That's what that is.
I can't hear you. What was that?
So this is called proposition today. We are using these funds for teaching money, that we are not using any of those funds for administration.
Oh, okay.
That's what it is.
Thank you.
Any other discussion, any further discussion or debate?
No, I moved to adopt.
Okay,
See?
it's been moved and seconded. Any debate or discussion? Or was it seconded?
Yes.
Okay, okay.
Sorry.
Hearing no discussion, we'll move forward to a vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. Item D, approve the 2020-2021 unaudited actuals.
So moved.
Been moved and seconded. Any discussion or debate? Hearing no, move forward to a vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. Item E, approve entering into contract with Row Health, Inc. to provide healthcare services.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded.
This comes forward from our special services department. We have a particular need with a particular student, so this contract is necessary to help meet the health needs of that student and their IEP.
Any discussion or debate?
We have any idea how many hours that'll entail?
Do you know off the top of your head, Mrs.
Yes.
Graham?
So the child that needs the health support will be attending preschool for 3 hours a day, 4 days a week. But we're looking to contract for 30 hours to help with some of the COVID situation that we have now, contact tracing with Nicole Sullivan, because we're a little
it's a lot of work for our nurses.
okay.
They're needing that support, so that's what we're hoping to find that amount of hours for this school year.
Thank you.
It's an LPN now.
Okay.
And the time with the student is prioritized over the contract tracing and everything, correct?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Okay. Any additional discussion or debate? Hearing none, move forward to a vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. Board member requests for future agenda items or reports. Trustee Devine.
Nothing to report right now, sorry.
Trustee Cardona.
None.
Trustee Barnes.
I have a question. Will we be doing the, vision screening this year?
Yes.
Okay, then, none now, but.
Okay.
Trustee Boyd.
None.
Okay, and I have nothing. So with that, this meeting is adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for tuning in.
Thank you.